Alright, I am back, kind of. So this is becoming a bit of an issue, right? Because, yeah, like, my fucking whole shit crashed. That's kind of a shame. I really don't see why this would be an issue. Um, Like, this really shouldn't be as big of an issue as it's being, but it just crashed fully. So, I don't know what to do about that. Like, it kind of just seems like it's not gonna let me, uh... It's not gonna let me stream Minecraft, which kind of sucks, because I do want to play on this server more. Like, that means I would have to stream it. But, yeah, I guess it's just not gonna work. I'll have to, like, look into it later. Alright, I'm trying to get all my stuff reset up now, real quick. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I should be back. Okay, there we go, finally. Oh, I gotta get the other stuff back up. Primo tools and all that. Well, you know what? I was gonna have to switch to game dev soon anyway, so we may as well just make the switch now. I'm not gonna get, like, mod runs started back up and all that again, just to, like, fucking play for, like, 10 minutes and then stop. Uh, Blah. Actually, no, I'm unsure. There we go. Got a title. But yeah, that's annoying. I should be live. I just wanted to double check. Let me see. I'm gonna have to open it in the browser just to be completely sure. So give me a second. Okay, I am in fact live. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I wish there was something I could do, but I don't think there is, realistically. I think it's just kind of a wash. It's gonna try and redo the ads in a second, which is stupid. Like, I literally don't want those. Uh, I guess if it happens while I'm still getting, like, set up, then it is what it is, right? Uh... Again. See... I should... Hang on. Last thing I need to do is just refresh, mix it up. I think that should be working. Like, if I do this.
The
Yeah,
council has decided. You are friends.
awesome. Alright. Yeah, they're gonna play again, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a massive bummer that it seems like I won't be able to like stream the Cobblemon server. Sucks. Uh, it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, we're getting Game Maker up. I honestly don't even know what I'm doing today. Like, necessarily. I guess I should just introduce this all after the ads, so I'll wait till then. Alright, there we go. We're back from ads. Yeah, so anyway. Uh... We are back in Game Maker. I honestly don't know what I'm doing today. It's like, I wanted to do more button optimization, or more menu optimization stuff, but I think I've kind of run out of things to, like, continue optimizing for now. But I do have everything working. I got, like, the... Last time when I was working on kind of, like, getting auto navigation working and, like, being able to, like, create buttons more efficiently, I did manage to get that working. So if I go into, like, here, for instance, yeah, rather than having to, like, manually write out each button like I did before, I now have this script that just works. It does it automatically, like a set of passed-in button names. So, yeah, pretty neat. I guess in that case, I might even, like, all that might be left to do is just actually, like, fill out these options menus. I guess the only problem is we would need a tick box for some of them, which is a bit of a concern because I don't have tick box functionality yet at all. So that might be what we work on today. If anything. Uh Also, like, there are various other things I would need to get working too. Like, for instance, like selecting a resolution. Like, you would optimally kind of want, like, a left and right switchable thing. So, that's interesting. Hmm. Lot to consider here. Hmm. I guess for now we will just do, make a duplicate of this. Go general, J opt general. Short for like options general. Actually, let's make the video options tab first, because that's like where we have the most stuff that we would immediately be able to do. Like being able to do like full screen or not full screen kind of things. VSync, FPS, everything there. all like video stuff, so that should be pretty simple to get working. Yeah, we can get rid of this. We can get rid of all these. We need that. Yeah, this is where we need to do like a full screen. Screen typically one word. I think it is, right? Okay, so it is one word. I guess you. So once again, this is where we want like a left and right thing. It's like you can have, I believe, like windowed, borderless windowed, that sort of stuff. Let me see. There's graphics. Borderless window. Yeah, I mean, can you change that at runtime though? Game maker borderless window. Okay, so you can. So we would want this to be kind of like a left to right, like changing option. Like I guess instead of checkboxes, we kind of need to implement the side to side ones first. Interesting. Hmm. Let's welcome in, Hunk. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Hmm. So yeah, we basically need three options for like windowed, full screen, or borderless full screen, or borderless windowed. I guess, I don't know, technically maybe the same thing? I don't know. But you got the idea. There's like three different modes we need to let people switch between. Like, we could possibly even allow, like, borderless non-full screen, which would be kind of strange, but, technically something some people might want, for whatever reason. We'll see. I guess what's important is to get the underlying functionality working. Okay. So come to think of it, we do need like a better UI to like copy whenever we have to make a new menu like this. That's another thing I probably should actually do before making this. Let's actually just rename this to like OBJ menu child example. Just go like, this is an unused sample menu for other menu children to copy from. You could honestly even just set this to like nothing. Option 1. I guess we'd do like button 1, button 2, button 3, etc. Put like 2 per line actually. Just for fun. Do like 80, like -40 here. Button that does nothing. I guess we could like show a debug message. Just be like, button pressed. And when we draw this, we just do this, get this out of the way. Get like the darken shader. All good. Draw heading text. Heading. Yeah, that should be fine. This is basically just gonna be like a sample menu to like pull from. We can quickly like spawn it in just to like do that for fun. So like we could copy this with button array 1 to obj menu child, I guess. Yeah. Do that for the video button. And this should just work. Like, this should be like bare minimum menu. Except now that I think about it, I think the UI box will be a bit fucked. Okay, also, that's an issue. Right. We don't have this. I think it should be like cam x plus this. So this just gives us the middle of the screen. So then this should be plus cam w times the animation evaluation. We'll see what that does in a second. Makes us like 200 as well. Example of using animation. It is kind of silly for me to be like commenting all of this out instructionally. Okay, well that's that's a shame. I like almost did it actually. This would actually be camx plus cam w divided by 2 plus cam w again. And then we do like minus. That is not showing on stream. Restart. There we go. So now when we click this, it brings this other menu in. Although it is really dark for some reason. I don't know why that is. Oh, hang on. Yeah, this is not quite correct, I don't think. I think this should be 0.5 plus that. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of our, like, sample little thing that we've created. Make it a little bit fancier if we want. Like, we could probably put this, like, here. Actually, no, like, this is fine. Actually, no, we do this. We'd make the UI, like, less tall. And we'd also make the heading bit more. Yeah. Okay. So it's pretty much like this minus like 108. So if we do this, that's away 32. Okay, so then we could do that here. We'll see how that looks. Once again, this is just as like a little sample UI box. Yeah, fair enough. Could be like a little smaller, probably. It's just like a little example UI. I think that's fine. Maybe fine-tune the spacing a little more. Fine-tune this. Oh. Yeah, that should be like kind of a perfect little like sample menu to draw from. Like from now on, anytime we need to like make a new menu, we just make a duplicate of this object and then change this object instead of having to change the pause menu every time. It's like there's a lot of stuff specific to the pause menu that has to be gutted every time that we like duplicate it to make another menu. So this is like much more bare bones as like an example, right? Yeah, let me actually like push this well. Quickly. Made new obj menu child to use as a sample for new menus. Okay. We'll push that. Nice. Alright, so now for the actual thing that we were trying to do. Duplicate this. We do opt video. Yeah, now that we've done like this sort of thing, we can be a bit better about how we do this. Like now I have already like gutted all of the stuff that we need anyway, or that we needed to gut anyway, so that's fine. I believe we should set that to 0. This is probably fine for the spacing. I feel like this should probably be like positive 45. Sorry, I had to sneeze. This should be fine as well. I need to make the menu a little bigger. And by a little bigger, I mean a lot bigger, actually. Probably be about as big as this. In fact, I'm just gonna steal this exact way of doing this. Even though I know that's kind of ironic considering we just made this as like an example, like we can still steal things from like other ones here. Like as we need. I forgot to make it so that it actually spawns the right thing. Oopsies. Yeah, we need to change it to this new object, which should be opt video. Okay. So yeah, it's like very silly looking. But like then we can kind of put like new things here. Oh, hang on. I kind of fucked up. Accidentally made it so there's still 2 buttons per row, which is why it looked kind of strange. Okay. We can probably do like minus, like what the hell, like 150-ish here. What does the menu, like this menu do? It's 166, damn. So like even more. Fine. Then we do video options as the heading. Yeah. Probably don't need it to be like that close to the top, really. I also kind of want to copy over the black background from this. Let me steal that from the rebind menu too. Really, that is another thing I could maybe optimize. I mean, it's not that bad. Be like copying and pasting this, I think. Like, it's literally just a basic rectangle draw. I don't think it's worth creating an entire script just to do this. For now. I guess maybe if I wanted to, like, enforce uniformity between them, though, it'd start to get a little annoying. Maybe I should. I hate that whenever I, like, cover my eyes, it, like, makes me really close to the screen. Annoying. Whatever. Whatever. Got other shit I should be doing right now. Or procrastinating. Here we should do... we do. So, one thing we need to do is give these a background. Which I believe comes in, like, here. Yeah, we should probably just do this as well for each of these. So we add this to video options. There's kind of another problem with this. We might need an additional parameter here for, like, a script that we want to execute for, like, each of these. I think that would be nice. It's like, then we could do, like, button create script equals function. We could even do, like, button post create script. Is this... Well, but then the problem is... Well, I guess, hang on, because you could pass I into this. And, I guess, like, button index. This is a function to execute after every button creation. I guess the only problem... I guess we could have it be like -1 by default, and if it's like -1, it just doesn't run anything. So like if we go do this, we'll do an extra thing here that shouldn't be there. And now we go to menu create buttons. To post create script equals -1. So then in each step here we do, we're gonna do this to go all the way to the end. Post creation script. Create script like that. Yeah, that should be from here. Well, of course we need to do if post create script does not equal -1, we do this. Oop. So if all goes according to plan here, this shouldn't affect any of the other menus. Okay, the game did not appear. Classic. Okay. So yeah, this doesn't affect those menus, and then this crashes the game. Okay. Cool. Oh, illegal undefined null use. I think I know why. Because I forgot to pass in the argument. Needs the I. Yeah, there we go. So see, it actually, like, it does run it now. So yeah, it creates those buttons differently using the post create script. Passed in from the menu object itself, is this. There we go. Yeah, get rid of that error. Do 70. Just trying to like style this in sort of a similar enough way. So this should be the menu font here. This menu font. And it should also have the minimum width to this other one. Do this. Button styling. Yeah, that still works normally. And then yeah, we have these. Which these can then just be like any setting, really. Kind of weird thing happening here. Like, oh, right, because these menus are 2 each. That makes sense. Right, I forgot about that. So basically here, like, when it opens the menu, when you, like, put it away, it doesn't immediately destroy it until you create a new menu. Like this. And then this gets rid of an extra instance, because this menu is actually in 2 parts. Because they've got this, like, bottom section, too, which is a separate object. Okay. So that actually makes sense why the instance count goes back to 35 when you create this one. Okay. I gotcha. So it gets rid of 2 UI instant or 2 menu instances and then spawns 1 new instance in, so it goes down by 1 compared to these 2. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So this is where we can start getting a bit more involved with this. So we can say button array 0 dot button text equals full screen. Now I guess technically we could just put that in here as a default. But then like now we can actually do a bit more of an involved script to like check this. So we do var is full screen equals window get full screen sort of thing. We do var underscore button text equals windowed, and then button text. Okay, we do if is full screen button text button text equals full screen. I honestly, I don't think we'd even need this at all now that I think about it. Like, we can just get rid of this line. So if we are in full screen, it'll change the button text to be full screen. Otherwise, it's just windowed as stated here. And then we do if window get a borderless full screen, then we'd actually do button text equals borderless as a string plus the existing button text. So basically this like prefixes it with borderless if we are in borderless full screen. And then finally we just set this to be the right text here. Full screen. Okay, did that work? Like, hang on, if I run this again, I'm gonna actually purposely go into windowed mode. We'll see if it changes. Okay, it does say windowed. Okay, good. So, the weird thing though is I am playing it in borderless, and it's not actually giving the prefix. Hmm. Because, like, it should be true, because, like, we have here, yeah, borderless window. So that's strange, why it wouldn't set up correctly. Full screen mode uses a borderless window whether the game takes exclusive control of the display. A different thing here I could, like, use instead. What? Alright, hang on. Some trickery afoot here. Let's debug. Show debug message. String. Window got borderless full screen. Just to get a better idea of what's happening here. If I take this out, go here. It says 0. It says it's false? But why? Wait, so what happens if I set this to non-borderless full screen then? Hell? If I do this, now it definitely has a border. Okay, it still doesn't do the prefix. It says 0, so like, it doesn't work? What? That's crazy. This function just straight up doesn't do anything. What? That's crazy. I'm gonna Google this real quick. Window get borderless full screen not working. So strange, man. I don't know why that wouldn't work. The best thing I could think of is maybe if we like set it manually, this would work. So maybe if we disable these and just set them manually. I believe would mean doing it through OBJ Global. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe not quite. Oh, okay, hang on. It is actually. Yeah, okay, so that's... This is like the room that we spawn into at the start of the game. So this should run immediately then. So in that case, we'll do window set full screen true. We'll do window what was it again? Enable borderless full screen to be true. And we'll see if setting both of these correctly does it. So now, if we do this, go here. Okay, it does correctly pick up on it if you do this. What about if I do this in windowed? Borderless windowed. Okay, there we go. Although, weirdly, that, like, is also kind of incorrect, because I'm realizing that setting borderless full screen does not set borderless windowed. Is that, like, two different functions for this? Apparently not. Oh, okay, hang on. So these actually are, like, two different parameters. That's really strange. I don't know why they would make it like that. That is really, really strange. So, like, you have to set this through. Yeah, so then if I do this... Although, weirdly, that doesn't actually work. Why is that the case? Oh, because I set show border to true. Fuck. Okay, hang on. I see the issue. Yeah, that's borderless full screen. If I get that out. Now it's borderless windowed. Okay. Strange. Strange. Very peculiar. Okay. Let's exit out of that. So now that we do this manually, that's fine. Actually, hang on, we can probably, now that we know the crux of the issue, we can probably do that. So now we can do... we don't have to do this. Actually, I think we still would in order to have it be enabled here. We would still need to have it start out of full screen, but we would at least be able to enable borderless window by default. A lot of weird stuff here, I gotta say. A lot of very weird, like, niche things. So then... there has to be a corresponding... yeah, there is a corresponding function to this, to, like, see what we are. Okay. So if window get show border, or it would be not show border. If it's not showing the border, that means it's borderless. So then we do that. Then we overwrite this if it's full screen. Well, I mean, we could technically... It's kind of strange. I don't need this debug text anymore. I mean, I guess every case here would lead to something, but we could just put this in. Else, we would do this kind of a thing. Windowed. Okay. I think that is fine. I mean, obviously, hang on, we don't need that. So yeah, we check if the window is full screen. If it is, we set the text to full screen. If it's borderless, we append borderless onto the start of this. And then if it's windowed, as in like it gets false from window get full screen, we set the text to windowed, and then if window show border is on, or if window show border is off, meaning it's borderless windowed, we append borderless onto the start. And if somehow none of these are true, it would just give error. But that should literally never happen because it's an if-else, right? Like, I don't know, it just, to me, it makes me happy to just have a default value here just to be sure, right? Especially when initializing, like, a var. Since, like, you should only have this, like, little var prefix when you're first creating it. I mean, really, we could probably just set this to, like, this. We need to, like, overdo it, right? So yeah, this is setting full screen buttons text. Just to like comment that out. Make it a bit clearer. I should probably make the minimum width a bit higher for this. It's like these already are getting a bit long, these buttons. Let me see, how does the button background actually tile? Where is... That's my sprites. Not that. Button outline. This is part of this 9 slice. Seems to just be split into like 6, 6, and then multiples of 8. Okay, so as long as the button outline is a multiple of 8, it should be fine. Okay. It probably makes us like 144 then. That's a multiple of 8. I believe. If I did my math correctly, it should be. Yeah, there we go. Just makes it so that we have more uniformity between these like different buttons. Yeah, borderless windowed seems to be like a shorter string overall, so that's fine. Actually, maybe should just leave this as like 52, 152. I think that's maybe slightly safer. Just because it seems to be cutting it kind of close. Yeah, I like that. That gives more space on the sides. Also, we're in ads. I'm gonna go for a quick bathroom break. Oh, whoop, I hit the mic. My bad. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Um, I like this song a lot. Like this track, I guess I should say. Very like underrated track from the Buckshot Roulette soundtrack. It has a lot of blank space at the end though, so I'm gonna skip it. Skip the ending. Alright. Aside, we should be ready to get back into work. Okay, never mind. Why has the game disappeared? Oh. Okay. Maybe borderless full screen is a bit strange. Maybe we shouldn't have that on by default. Uh, I just realized that's probably why I can't see the game. Yeah, okay. So, for whatever reason, GameMaker seems to have this bug where... Actually, it may not even be just GameMaker, it might be a Windows bug. Where, like, things that are in borderless full screen can just disappear from your taskbar. And, like, the only way I know of to get back into the game in that case is to use Task Manager to, like, actually like dig through your opened tasks and then like refocus the window through Task Manager. It's very strange. I don't know why that happens. Uh but as I said, I can get back to it through Task Manager. It just means I should probably just no longer have that on by default. The only reason we even wanted that on was just for like testing. So let's just like switch that back off real quick so that we don't have that issue again. But yeah, anyway. Now we get into making the actual like switching thingy mechanic. Which I don't really know what you'd call that. I want to quickly Google it to see if I can get the terminology right. Um, Types of UI. Buttons. I make sure I'd vet out AI though. Fucking AI overview. Fuck that. It's not really giving me a proper name. Like struggling to find the specific name for it. You know what, if it's not gonna give me like a proper name for this, I'm just gonna give it my own. Yeah, let me... If I do types of game UI buttons... Okay, that's no better. Hang on. UI button that switches is left to right through a series of options. What is that called? Well, it's still not showing me the answer, and I'm not gonna take off the AI thing. I don't want to use the Google AI overview to find this out. Just fuck that. So instead, I'm just gonna give it my own name, since I can't figure out the official name of this thing. I'm gonna call it a switcher. We're going to create a new type of button. I'm gonna call it switcher. So we go options video. I believe we need to do this. Okay. We do a DS map add to button 0, button switcher, and we say true. Now, right now, that's not going to do anything. And in order for it to do anything, we'd actually need something to put to the left and right of it. They're actually going to very quickly get something in A sprite. Actually, no, we don't have to. We could just, like, display, like a less than or greater than symbol. That's also an option. I kind of just want to make my own, though, if I'm being completely real. That's what we're gonna do. Hang on. Let me get A sprite open. Let's see. I got A sprite open. You'll probably see very quickly the type of, like, UI thing I was even talking about. We basically want these to, like, the left and right. Might want to make it, like, a little taller. We'll probably make it, like, 9 by 9. Instead. Yeah, so you'll just have, like, one of these arrows on, like, each end. Maybe that's better? No, I don't like that. That's fine. Now, technically, I think this should be facing this way. We were going to do it like that. Because, like, in Game Maker, technically 0 degrees should be facing to the right. It's kind of like the best practice for that. Hmm. I kind of wonder if we could make it look a little more stylish. I guess I shouldn't worry about that for now, right? Alright, we're gonna save this out, export it, do all that. So I have to hide a sprite to do that because it's kind of finicky the way that this works. UI arrow. UI arrow right. We export this. We go. Okay, then we can go into here. I'm gonna need to make a new category for sprites called like SBR. Hang on, this is for the error. SBR UI error. Import error. Put it middle center. At least as middle center as it'll let us. May even be able to do like this, just offset it a little bit. So that we don't have to like manually offset it. Be kind of nice. Uh, sorry. Get a tissue quickly. Okay. So we need a new category for these. We need a group. I'm gonna call this UI. And then we're gonna put you in here. Put you. This is basically just to like declutter this a lot. Always just a good thing. I guess we should probably call this like menus instead of like UI. This is predominantly for like clickable, interactable user interface. Rather than just like things like this that are purely display. Put you in there and put you in there. Perfect. Okay. Then we need to do. So when we do this draw get menu or draw menu buttons, scroll through here. We need a DS map exists like this. Then we need to scroll all the way down, I think. Hmm. Kind of? Hmm. We might have to do this like a little bit later in the script. The button outline. Um, I'm realizing this probably isn't the best thing to use here. So it's button text width. So like, where do we get stuff related to like overriding the width? It should be to do with minimum width. Okay. So it gets it here. Okay. So then we would just use that. We do... So we'll introduce it over here then. Switcher if needed. Switcher errors if needed. We do if dsmap exists. I believe I called it like button switcher, right? So it should actually be here. Background if needed. This should be button locking. This should be switcher errors if needed. So now actually go double check what I put here, what I called it. Okay, it is button switcher. So welcome in, Susie. I hope you're well. Okay, so we put this here. That is exactly the same. That's good to know. Then this is where we draw a sprite. I guess it would be extended, right? SBR UI arrow 0. It would be button X plus width. Do we have to like divide this? I think no, because like this is the half width, I believe. Button Y. X scale for this one should just be 0. Or should be 1, actually. Be 1, 1. Rotation should be 0. Color should be probably the text color. Frankly. We'll do this. We might need a better way to do that, actually, if we're going to be doing this in several steps. Like, how many times do we use this text color? Apparently it's just that once. Okay. Well... do var real button color or real button text color equals this. We sub this out. Realistically, we might be able to like reuse this if we wanted to, but I'm not like too pressed about it. Whatever. That's fine. So then we display both of these arrows, essentially. One for each side. So this should be minus, and it should be horizontally flipped. So -1 on the X scale. That, run that, get some water. Alright. Do this. The arrows are not far enough. Not even close, really. They need to be offset farther. But at least you can now kind of see what I'm going for here. This menu needs to, like, switch options from, like, left to right. Is the idea. So then what we should do is this can just be like plus n maybe. It might need to be like more. We'll do plus 16. And then this needs to be minus 16. But we need brackets around this since it's subtraction, and subtraction can be finicky. Like with subtraction, the order of operations actually matters. Even though that should yield a correct result every time, I just want to make sure it does. Okay, so 16's a little too much. Let's try 12 for this. Okay, 12 seems about right. We could maybe put it to like 10 or like 11 at like absolute most. Like, I guess the main thing is like these little like border things would kind of like almost overstep it. Yeah, they're only 2 pixels off from like kind of enveloping it. We'll still try 10 just to like see how it looks. Actually, no, it is still a pixel off even when you do 10. So I feel like that still has enough like visual clarity. Now, I could maybe make the arrows a bit bigger. I guess is the only other thing I would add to this. So I'll actually very quickly bring A Sprite back up. We can make these a little bigger. Let's try like 13. 13 by 13. Do that. This. There we go. And then I will export this. We will re-import it. Import. Where are you? Over here. I guess you should be middle center, and then I'll move you 2 to the right. I probably should just leave it at middle center and then just give it like even more offset. Just for the sake of consistency. Do plus 12 minus 12. Alright. There we go. I feel like that's quite clear that you can, like, switch these, or at least you will be able to switch these when I actually implement it. uh, which I guess we could go ahead and try to do right now. I guess... I'm just trying to think of how I would do that. I guess it's like one of those things where it would need, like... It would need different options. Which means you'd probably need to put, like, another array or list into this, but I'd probably prefer to just do an array. Right? Because arrays actually, like, they, like, garbage collect properly in Game Maker. So an array is probably the safer option here. Okay. I'm, like, still trying to think out how to implement this. Okay, I think I'd have, like, an idea. Go into here, go into here. We do array switcher options equals windowed borderless windowed full screen borderless full screen. Oh, okay, so then we could probably just take all of this away and instead we just do okay, so we do this first. We need another new thing here. Gonna be put an array switcher index, I guess. Switcher index equals 0 by default. And then instead of changing this, what we instead do is we have each of these equal a different part of the switcher. Switcher index equals 2, which corresponds to this since this is actually 0. It's like 0, 1, 2. Full screen. Borderless full screen then becomes 3. Windowed becomes 1. Or 0, actually. Correspond to this. And then borderless windowed becomes 1. Okay. Text and switcher state. Okay. Alright. And then... And then what? Okay, so we need a way to, like, actually actively refresh this. Which I guess might honestly be doable in, like, the draw menu button script anyway. Oh, also, important thing. We forgot to get rid of this. This should be button array 0 switcher, or this should actually be switcher options index, switcher index. Like that. Okay. So... yeah, that's all good. Should be all good. I might add this immediately, though, just to be a bit more thorough. Oh, dude, I love this song. So then, all we do is, I guess we just check for... if there is a left or right... if there is no left or right navigation, which these should have no left or right navigation, then you can just, like, actually mess with the switcher. Like, the switcher index. I think that, to me, makes sense. So let's see, how would I implement this real quick? I don't think the first implementation of this needs to be perfect. It just needs to be a proof of concept that we can, like, do this. Hmm. So I guess we basically need... actually, who am I kidding? We could pretty easily, like, implement this. Because we just use input horizontal, right? Yeah. If input horizontal... button array... should be button array I. So it should be if input horizontal does not equal 0, then you would do hang on. This would actually have to be button array I dot switcher index, I'm realizing. Which I realize is a lot of repeated button I's. Which is a little bit of an eyesore and kind of clunky. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. I feel like that is something I should optimize later, though. Because, like, we check button array I a lot. And, like, rather than constantly spamming this accessor, we probably could just, like, shove it in, like, a variable. And then just, like, make it so that we only have to access it once. And then you just reuse the variable. I should do that. Let me actually note that down in case I don't get around to it right now. Gotta make an entry on my to-do list. Optimize array accessor use in draw menu buttons. Set a variable to button array I instead of spamming it. Okay. Sorry, with that said and done, we are going to continue spamming it for just a little bit. Button array I dot switcher index equals, or should be plus equals actually you probably could just set this to be equals the mod of something, and equals switcher index plus input horizontal mod the array length. Array length of the switcher options. Oh, sorry. My allergies are killing me, frankly. I couldn't hit the mute button in time. Got switcher index. Right, so if we have like 4 buttons, for instance, this will try to access button 4, which because it's counted from 0, it would actually be a 5th button that doesn't exist, but then it does modular 4 to bring it back to 0. Efficient. then we just shove this inside here, because that's the only time we actually need to set the text again. Let's see if that works. Why don't we? Let's give it a try. Video. Oh, also it crashed. So what we should do is add this array length again. But before I do that, I'm gonna just do like switcher array length as its own individual variable, because I don't want to have to spam this long line of code. Whoops. That. There we go. Although, apparently I fucked something up here. I guess it just doesn't need that bracket. Right? Yeah, that's fine. So adding like the length of the list again just makes it so that it'll still return the same modular, but the problem is that for some reason GameMaker doesn't handle negative numbers mod something, even though it should, even though mathematically that makes sense. So, just kind of annoying. So yeah, now we should be able to like change this. Now it doesn't currently make a sound. Also slight problem. It doesn't check if it's selected yet. But I guess either way, if we reload this, yeah, we're in full screen. If we press D or left, right, etc. Press to borderless full screen, then to windowed, then to borderless windowed. It doesn't actually apply it yet. That is one thing to note. But like, we can do that in a little bit. Like that would require its own kind of like steps where we have like an apply button down somewhere. Which we don't have yet. And so I'm not gonna bother. I probably should just make it so that it makes like the switching sound when you do that as well. But I think for this like last little bit of stream, since I'm probably gonna end at the top of the hour, right? This last little bit of stream, I'm gonna do the optimization I talked about before. So I'm gonna push all that. That was really like a bulk of changes. I should have committed all this like in various steps. uh Created obj opt video and optimize some stuff, also switches, a thing now. There we go. My very good change log that I take very seriously. Normally I would actually give like pretty good like commit notes. But I mean, I'm the only one working on this project. So like I literally just have to put something that I understand. And that's it. Anyway, so as I said, we will now do a little optimization. So yeah, instead of constantly re-getting this accessor, we're going to just do it here as a var button struct. But that seems to be a thing that's used somewhere. Draw button struct. There we go. That's not used anywhere, apparently. Well, draw button struct equals... Well, it would be -1 by default. But then when we go in here, we would do get struct data. And this would equal button array entry I. And then now for every instance of this, we can just replace it with this instead. And that's actually a slight optimization, because that doesn't have to, like, recall the accessor, I'm pretty sure. I'm, like, 90% sure this is an optimization. It also could be entirely benign. I'm not entirely sure. Like, this could just be completely benign and not actually an optimization at all. But it's probably still best practice anyway, just for, like, ease of reading. Okay. Yeah. Fine. I just want to make sure if I do set anything, I believe this would just count as like a pointer, which is basically to say it's not making a duplicate of this struct, I think. I should probably Google that to double check. Make a setting a variable to a struct. A variable to a struct a pointer. Apparently, it seems like it might already be a pointer. Like, we're probably fine. Alright. I just want to be, like, careful about that. Like, if there's anything here where we have to, like, set a variable inside this instead of just, like, reading it from it, that's where things could get a bit rough. Which actually presents us a pretty good opportunity here to just, like, test it there. It's like the thing we just created. Yeah, we use this here. And this is the first place where we set it. And then the rest of these I don't think actually takes place in this, like, for loop. I don't think. Hang on. Where does this button selected come from? Oh, right, it is outside of the for loop. Okay. Yeah, okay. So now we need to not use button struct anymore. Outside that scope. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, the rest of these, it only does it with buttons selected. Okay. So that we're not getting our steps mixed up. Alright, hopefully this works. It does seem to. At least for now. Oh, the rebind menu seems to be working normally. Do page down. Do I not? I don't have number lock on, do I? There we go. Silly. But yeah, so this all seems to be working as normal. He shows that everything should be perfectly fine. And then this, it also does set it. So yeah, it is a pointer then. Windowed, borderless windowed, full screen, borderless full screen. Okay, perfect. It's like pretty much exactly how I wanted to optimize that. Cool. With that said, that pretty much did just take us to the top of the hour, like I expected. I'm gonna very quickly push this, and then I'm gonna sign off and get out of here. Yeah, I guess while I do this, hang on. Optimized array accessor calls in draw menu buttons. There we go. We'll push that. Okay. Save the project. I can just close everything out afterwards. Okay. Y'all, thank you for watching. I am gonna get out of here. It is the top of the hour, like I said. It is a bit of a shame that, like, the stream kind of got split in the middle. That's why it'll say on stream that it's only been 2 hours, but we started off with 2 hours of doing the Rel's Minecraft server. So that's not quite accurate. We have been streaming for like 4 hours today. I don't have anyone in particular I want to raid, so unless someone has a specific shout for somewhere they want to go, yeah, I guess feel free to do that if you wish. Otherwise, I might just end as is, as I seem to often do. I guess apart from that, unfortunately I won't be back on Wednesday. Like Wednesday, Tuesday. Because there's quite a lot happening on Wednesday, so I don't know when the next time is that I'll be able to stream. It'll probably be like Friday, Thursday sort of thing. If anything. Yeah, so it won't be in 2 days, it'll be more so in like 4 days. Is when the next stream will be. But until then, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever it may be. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. No ad break.